Hello, WorldCiv106. I want to welcome you to this class. I'm putting out this welcoming video a little early here. I know we're not starting our class here until early February. But I like to kind of just make myself available right off the bat and let you know that I'm excited to teach this class. This is a class that I have taught the longest. The first class I ever taught at Modesto Junior College in a face-to-face class was in fact the 106 WorldCiv. And I actually love it more and more. And I'll explain a little bit about that in a second, about the content and why I like to teach this class so much. But I also want to get us kind of, for those of you who are watching this video, to be aware of the routine, because we're starting later and we're ending earlier, and I'm still teaching the same amount of information. So this is somewhat like a cram course, and that means you actually have more work to do during the week when you're taking this class. And I did not set up, I don't make the call as to the arrangements of my classes. I get offered my classes and I'm happy to teach them. But I do think that a survey course like this, being put in a shorter amount of time, is a little problematic in the sense that it's already a lot of information coming at you, and then to have to put in more in a short amount of time, it's very hard for you to retain a lot of this information. But you can still learn a lot. And what I want you to be aware of is that I am not going to require you to memorize everything that we're covering. And in fact, my style of teaching is really about getting you familiar with certain things so that maybe later on, as you expose yourself to more information, you will have some of these main historical events and characters and places in the back of your mind. So I think what I'm trying to do is get you to walk away with a kind of general idea, something about the world in which you now feel comfortable to take off and learn more about it. You have a base in which to build up from. And if you're a hard worker, you will succeed in my class. But especially with these cram courses, I'm going to encourage you. You're going to want to really keep up. Now, there's several things I want to say. Some weeks we will have double the workload. Not all weeks will be like that. As I was trying to decide how to disseminate this information, put in the time frame that we were given, I think it's better. I think you can retain more information if I put certain subject matters that complement each other, and we crammed on some of those weeks, and then took some other information and kind of isolated it to put more focus in a week where you're not studying two different civilizations at once. So for instance, we're going to do Greece and Rome back to back. That has a nice harmony to it, and you'll see why. I do ancient Israel with Judaism. I have two separate lecture modules on those topics, and you'll see why. Why do I separate ancient Israel from Judaism? Well, that will come together for you as well. So also what's going to be a little different, and I'm going to explain this again in my other videos, because some of you might not watch this or just need a reminder. Some weeks you're going to have all the work put into one assignment, like let's say a 40-point video note assignment, and other times I'm going to separate basically 2 weeks of work on the same module. So you'll have 4 different links to put in. This might be a little bit confusing now, I will, once I open up the classes, we'll go over this again. I'll definitely make sure that everybody's on board and understands everything. So what I'm going to be teaching is with an emphasis on world religion. And the reason why I do this is because I feel that already the world, for especially my American students, those from the United States, is very mysterious. We don't get a lot of information about world history in K through 12. We just don't. I know. I was a substitute teacher for years in various parts of California, and we certainly don't see a lot of information on our mainstream media, or basically all of our media. We do not cover world events very well, and most Americans, or a good chunk, do not travel. So religion is something that's important to most people. Whether you're an atheist or you're of a particular religious branch, you have a strong opinion about this. Now, this also makes it a controversial topic. But the way I set it up is that it's not set up in a controversial way. It's in a very safe and comfortable way for you to say, okay, well, how did Buddhism start? Who started it? And in what parts of the world did it go in? And what are some key elements to Buddhism and the way that it translated over into X, Y, and Z country? And what can we know about that? Islam. Where did it start? What are important things to know about Islam? Christianity. Same thing. And what I've been finding over the years is that many of my students, regardless of their opinion on this very personal topic, really enjoy the way that I set up the class. So I feel very confident about that. And I'll mention again, but in the discussions, I do tell everyone, you have to be respectful. Okay? I believe in free speech, and I also believe in a safe space for all of our students, all of my students in my classroom. So as long as you talk respectful to each other, everything's fine, and you don't disrespect another person's belief system or another religion. It's not set up as a theological debate. When we cover these things, you're not expected to have an opinion on them. You're just expected to learn about them in regards to the development of particular civilizations. Okay? So feel free to contact me if you have any questions about that. The other thing I just want to quickly mention is that currently I'm living in Hua Hin, Thailand. I might be moving up into the north in Chiang Mai within a month. I was a single father most of my grown-up adult life, and my daughter moved out on her own at the age of 20 in Portland, Oregon. That's where I was last living, and still teaching for MJC, by the way. And I just decided I wanted to see more of the world, and I wanted to be able to bring that experience and knowledge into my classroom. So in August, I left with a one-way ticket to Iceland, and then I went to go see some friends in Denmark, and I went to Sweden to go see my great-grandfather's village, my great-great-grandmother's area that she lived in, a little heritage tour. This is the same branch of my family that moved to Turlock. Okay, I know a lot of Swedes moved to Turlock back in the day, and I might share more about that experience with you a little bit later. That was interesting. A very small, quiet town. Wow. Everything shut down at 6, by the way. I barely got a sandwich in. But I'll tell you more about it later. Then I went to Frankfurt, Germany to see a friend, and then I went to Thailand for 2 months, and then I went to Leiden, Netherlands for almost 2 months or around that, and then I came back here to Thailand. And so that's what I'm doing. There's a 14-hour time difference, but I really focus on my class. This is the only way I'm making money, and I'm really trying to make sure that I make you feel like you know that you're a priority. And I like to share information for you with you guys again, to help increase information for you and knowledge. And I'm living in a Buddhist country predominantly, but I see also a lot of Muslims here in Thailand, and some mosques. I saw Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall. There's a church I can see out my window. Interesting, a lot of interesting things. So I look forward to share more with all of you on that. And for now, I will just leave it there. And I will on the first week, I will cover more of the work routine and all of that. And just to say, please communicate with me. Write to me directly through Canvas. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we will be in touch, everyone.